Hey guys, this is Titan and today marks another special day in the story of Cities Skylines 2, in the, if you want, redemption story of Cities Skylines 2, and that is the release of the third of all the region packs. Today, the UK region pack for Cities Skylines 2. Again, you can download it for free on Paradox Mods. The link is in the description, of course, but also it'll be advertised as soon as you hit the button to access Paradox Mods, so it's really easy to find. And let's just give a quick deep dive into what the pack offers and how we can use it in my project, how you can use it in your projects, of course, and overall what's in there. And now with the British region pack we have some great new possibilities to build some amazing new cities, and to be more precise, suburbs even, because this pack has loads of low density housing. They look great but also fit really well in other, meaning let's say continental European settings, at least to my liking. And let's just dive in that and see what we all have in this pack. So here we are in the game on the banks of this mighty river with some trees apparently drowning, but that's not of interest today. Here I have laid out all the different buildings that this pack comes with, and it's absolutely massive once again. It offers a great variety from, as I said, finally some low density housing, really beautiful buildings, but we'll come to them in just a minute. Some high density housing as well over here, and some signature buildings as well. Absolutely massive, and I can't wait to use all of these buildings. But first of all, let's go through all of these buildings in detail and see what the pack comes with. And we'll just start with the health service buildings right here. So we have UK medical practice, so the small doctor's office, as well as the UK hospital general infirmary. Let's start with the small health building right here, which is this rather rural, low density brick building. Really beautiful building. Looks definitely like some polyclinic, doctor's office with or like, you know, a clinic with multiple doctors and a countryside. Really great building. And again, like right now it has a patient capacity of 150 patients, but you can extend it with an ambulance station that actually adds 30 patients to the building and 4 more ambulances. Really great, and extends the building nicely while keeping its low density character, which I quite like. And then we have a ward extension that adds a few beds for overnight stays. There's a little typo there. I should add that as a bug report, I guess, if nobody did it so far. But in any case, it adds another 30 people to the patient capacity here at the back of the building. So in the end, we have a bit of a rural clinic complex still. A small building in footprint, and definitely a very rural, very suburban building, and I definitely like it. And now, of course, in contrast to that, we have this absolutely gorgeous and pretty enormous large hospital building right here. Now, this is the UK hospital general infirmary. It has a very large parking lot in the front of the building, and then this huge brick and slate neo-Gothic building that, I mean, just the brick and the neo-Gothic details really looks British. I'm really liking it. Also, there's some let's see, there's some nice mosaic details here at these arches. Also, if you didn't know, those are automatic doors. Really beautiful building. What I also like about all these buildings is that they have rain gutters, something I completely forgot in my buildings. So I suppose I'll have to change that for all the future buildings that I'm gonna make for Cities Skylines 2. In any case, we have now patient capacity of 500 patients in this huge building, and we can extend it with 100 additional patients to both sides, with first a cancer care center over here, and a children's ward on the other side of the building. And now we really have an absolutely massive hospital building that I really can't wait to place in my city. Really great addition, gorgeous building, and I'm sure it also fits in other scenarios and not necessarily only British scenarios. And then, I mean, look at this little, look at this courtyard here. Oops, I glitched into the building. Look at this courtyard. Really, really cozy. Next up, we have the education buildings, and this pack actually comes with 3 education buildings. We have a UK urban primary school as well as a suburban primary school, and we have that really large secondary school over here. Let's start with the urban primary school. We have this very beautiful stone neo-Gothic building. Who knows, maybe built in the 1880s, 1890s. I really like the details with these Gothic arches and just a slight but very noticeable Gothic details all around this building. The backyard of the building is kind of a bit empty. I would expect some playground stuffs or some sports field. But I suppose that's just a design choice, and I mean, I'm not from the UK, and maybe this is how it looks in the UK, that you have a large asphalt or concrete backyard in some schools. Either way, it's a gorgeous asset. It has 500 student capacity from the start, and you can extend it with extra classrooms right here that add another 500 students. And I mean, I'm assuming there's like 2 classrooms in this extension, and it adds 500 students. Maybe that's a typo, and it should mean 50, because you also have another classroom extension that adds, I suppose, also 2 classrooms at like on the larger building, on the main building of the school, and this adds 50 students, which makes more sense. So I'm just wondering if that's how it's supposed to be. In either way, really beautiful building, and I love the moss and lichen details on the roof. Lovely building. In that spirit, let's just continue to the UK suburban primary school. So we have an urban primary school and a suburban primary school right here. You see, this one is on a much larger plot of land, and yeah, it's really low density in its development. It has 1,000 students from the start without any upgrades. Beautiful building. I could actually also see that standing somewhere in to the west of Germany, in the Rhineland region, so in the area around Cologne, or the Ruhr area, maybe. I think that would also fit that style, so maybe we can actually also use it in Schwanach, let's see. And it also has 2 extensions. It has extra classrooms that add another 500 student capacity again, and it also has more classrooms up here that add 50 student capacity. And I think with this one we can really build some very pretty cities. Then this absolute monster right here, the UK secondary school. Again, it is a rural or a suburban building. It is very big. Yeah, it comes with a huge lot, but barely uses this, if you want to call it like that. It is a rural suburban building. Again, it's a really beautiful building, and if we come here, we have a little parking lot there, and I suppose this would be the main entrance, maybe, or maybe no, I suppose this would be the main entrance to the school. Absolutely beautiful building. The brick texture is stunning. I really like it, as is the roof texture right here, and overall loving the asset, and I will definitely use it. What the UK team did, and I really like this, is that they didn't use a grass surface around the building. You can see it's just using the map theme grass texture, and that really makes it blend in with the surrounding area really well, and doesn't look as as artificial as it would with the manicured lawn. So that's a real really great design right there. And this also has 2 extensions. So we have an indoor sports building, adds 50 to the student capacity right here. Yep, I can see that. I can see me as a student doing sports in there, although it doesn't have a window. That's a bit strange that it doesn't have a window at all. Maybe this is how it works in the UK. But okay. And it has a technology wing extension with another 400 students extra capacity, and then we have this very large secondary school complex. And yes, I absolutely adore it. Really, really great asset. And then there are now 3 more service buildings that are included in this pack, and let's start right here with the first of those 3 buildings. That is the UK fire station. Now the UK pack only comes with 1 fire station, which I think is fairly reasonable, given that the whole pack is sort of focused on a bit more of a suburban rural aspect, and this UK fire station I think really fits the suburban as rural aspect quite well. It has 4 vehicles once you plop it down, and it's a great sort of 70s, I would assume 70s, 60s, 70s maybe, fire station. Please correct me if I'm wrong there. I'm really not an expert about British architecture. Either way, it's a really beautiful building and fits, I think, British cities or British towns as well as it fits German towns or French towns or European and maybe even American towns in general. So really, really great, versatile asset. And again, it has extensions that you can plop right on the lot that is there. We can build extra garages for 3 more fire engines, which is reasonable given the amount or given the size of these garages. And we have training facilities that add another 2 fire engines, that add a tower at the back of the building, and some smaller buildings, some smaller sheds and garages right there. And yeah, we have this suburban rural fire station. Really, really great building as well. The UK police station, which follows the spirit of the fire station. There's only 1 police station, again fitting a bit of a suburban rural area, which again is totally fine and a welcome addition to the game that to the region packs that so far focused on inner urban central areas. So we have the police station right here that has 6 vehicles and room for 25 criminals, so a decently sized police station. Again, beautiful building. Access to the roof is also given. That's a nice detail. I'm very happy with this building as an addition to the game as well. And of course we can extend it with a garage extension, adding 5 more to the jail capacity and 4 more patrol cars there at the back with some little walkway bridge. I think, yeah, that's really nice, nicely done. And then we have extra holding cells, another 15. That is another sub building right there, turning this into a larger complex of a police station, but still very rural or suburban, and a great addition to the game. Again, beautiful, beautiful. And last but not least, in the service building sector, we have the UK parish church that functions as a cemetery, which is just a really, really great idea. Now you can definitely see like this little gate, the wall as well as the church itself really is a nod to Cities Skylines 1 as well, where we also already had this precise setup on a Steam workshop. So it's really great that they updated it and we have it now in Cities Skylines 2 again. We have room for 100 deceased people and a processing speed of 8 bodies per month, and we can increase that to both sides for a larger graveyard and more capacity for both processing speed and deceased. It's just a really, really beautiful rural graveyard with a little parish church. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful building. And it really, I mean, would you look at the details here in that window? Those stained glass details are just beyond anything we have in the game so far, and it really, really is an impression of the future of modding in this game. and just the possibilities we have once modding really takes off, and once we can start building our own assets for the game. And yeah, this is just absolutely beautiful. So biggest of thanks to both Rick4000 and McFerren here for giving such a beautiful addition to the game. You did an amazing job right there. Now, so far we looked at all the service buildings that are included in this pack, but there's so many more buildings included in this pack. So let's just have a quick look at all the different zones included in this pack, one after the other, and start right here with the low density detached housing. So the really low density housing with one family per lot, and we have this large array of buildings right here. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, I can't stress it enough. Rick4000 and McFerren did an amazing job with these buildings. So let's start here. We have one lot of 2x2 cells size, then we have 3x2. This is 2x3, 2x4, 2x4, 3x4, 3x4, and then they grow progressively larger with every building. So we have a very big variety for just very low density housing, and they all look absolutely great. Now, of course, these buildings are built from and in a British context, so they definitely look British, but I think they also suit a continental context very well. Maybe not for every region, maybe not every building, but overall I think you can use all of these buildings in a continental context very well, and I will definitely do so and use all these buildings in my German city. Yeah, with a bit of suspension of disbelief, I think this works really well, but in either way, the quality of the textures is amazing. You have all these already detailed backyards, which is just really great. And you can use Painter on these assets if you wanted to do so, to give another roof color. You can give the bricks a different color if you wanted to do so, and then the plaster also can have a different color if you wanted to do so. Really beautiful building, and we finally have some decent low density housing in the game. These buildings definitely are great, and I can't wait to use them. And with all that being said, let's progress a bit further into the medium density semi-detached housing. The houses are largely the same in scale. Of course, there were different buildings, but the scale of them is about the same. The density looks the same, but these are considered medium density because they have 2 households. Really great addition as well. Again, we have a large array of different sizes, growing from 2x2 to really massive 4x6 and even 5x6 lot sizes right here. This looks quintessentially British to me. Really beautiful. But I think in some areas, say to the west of Germany, you could see houses like this as well. And otherwise, with a bit of suspension of disbelief, you could definitely make it work in more continental European settings, and they will just fit perfectly as well. Again, you have all these detailed backyards here. You have these like raised plant beds. You have these greenhouses. Really great ideas, to be honest. You have like the forest texture, the forest surface that is used as a personal farm field right here, which is a great detail that I will definitely use for future buildings that I'm detailing. And yes, absolutely beautiful building as well, that will give a nice level of atmosphere in all European builds. Let's continue to the medium density terraced housing. This is a bit of a smaller style, but this is really not a problem, since you can mix it with the mixed housing. So you can use these 2 styles interchangeably, and thus create sort of a, I think in the UK it's called a high street area, so sort of the main commercial street in a town or suburban area, which would work just as well. Now again, this is then quintessentially British to my eye. Not in terms of low density detached, but just overall. This is quintessentially quintessentially British in my. But again, really, really beautiful buildings. Now, of course, these buildings don't necessarily fit in a city that is not based on the UK anymore, but just for a bit more variety, I think you could sprinkle them in every here and there to get some more variety in buildings. Either way, they are just absolutely gorgeous. The details, again, the textures with all this moss and lichen details, even here on the metal edges, I absolutely adore it. And I'm really looking forward to use these buildings. And then with the mixed housing, we continue this trend. The buildings grow a bit larger. You have more households being able to live in this building. You see, even in this level 1 building, we have up to 12 people. Absolutely wonderful. Once again, I can't stop saying it. They're just beautiful, beautiful buildings. And I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself, but they really are. And you have then stores on the ground level and apartments further up. And they're just really, really great buildings. And then we continue with some actual medium density housing according to the UK guys right here. And we start with some small detached housing that I think this is the type of housing that you can find all over Europe, not necessarily only the UK. Like this could just as well be, from what I've seen personally, even in France, it could be in Germany, but I've also seen it in Eastern Europe. So this is a very versatile building, and I think this trend continues with these buildings right here as well. These are really great buildings for not only UK builds, but for other continental European builds as well. And then we go to these large apartment towers up here, still medium density, but on a large scale, I might say. And again, really, really beautiful buildings. Now, yeah, you can use them in every setting, I think, and they really look beautiful. And finally, also give some European medium density high rises that we didn't have so far. And on the term of medium density high rises, let's go to the high density housing. And then we have these buildings right here. And I mean, now this is some, these are high rises. I think that's actually low rent high rises. Let's check if they are. It doesn't say if they're low rent, but I'm assuming this is low dent high density. But then again, what other high density buildings are there in Europe? I can't think of any. So we have all these high density houses, and I mean, these really are now massive apartment towers, massive apartment complexes you really, I think, would only find on the outskirts of very large cities, built in the 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe even in the 90s in some areas, though I think that's probably more of a 70s, 80s thing. Absolutely massive, beautiful, let's say beautifully done buildings, not necessarily beautiful buildings per se, because no. But the models and just the overall quality of these assets is beyond everything. And yeah, both McFerren and WYEN 4000 have done a really outstanding job with these buildings. And now I already showed it quickly in the beginning, and you saw them in the background the whole time. We also have quite a large array of signature buildings that further extend the whole variety of buildings we have in the British region pack. Again, beautiful building. We have another, this time as a signature standalone, just UK city apartments, they're called. A really just massive apartment building right here, with room for 136 households, which is just massive. But then as a contrast, we also have the UK Executive Mansion, which adds a grand British rural sort of 1850s, I would assume, 1870s executive mansion of some wealthier people. Beautiful, beautiful building, and it really has this palatial flair to it. And then further on, we have the UK mixed suburban shops. They are very similar to the mixed zoning assets, and I think they would, they definitely fit very well in a mixed zoning context. Again, not necessarily only British, but I think these assets would also fit in a continental setting as well. Then we have this huge amount of low density commercial assets. First of all, starting with this big supermarket right here with a very large parking lot, and then we have the Morrissey's supermarket since 1982 that really just gives a realistically looking supermarket, low density supermarket, something that we didn't have in the game so far, at least based from what I remember, and it just adds another beautiful building. And then we follow back in the story of all these rural suburban assets. We have this large array of low density commercial assets right here with the larger Fox Inn pub, or like we have the Fox Inn pub with parking, and we have the larger Fox Inn pub with some playgrounds in the back. It's also interesting that they essentially did the same building but imported it twice, offered it twice to us, but with a larger plot of land. The same goes for the 3, 2, the 2, 3, and 5-star country hotel. Essentially the same building, just with some roof dormers right there. Overall a bit larger, and then the 5-star building really is a bit bigger. It's really great that we have these different buildings that are essentially the same, but because we now have them thrice, you can actually also use them thrice on different areas on the map, and I think they will just work really well in a rural setting. And the same then continues this lovely corner pub building right here. So we have the Heath pub, then we have the Heath pub with a lounge, which just extends the building to one side, and we have the Heath pub with terrace, which adds the building further to one side, but also adds this lovely terrace right here. And also finally some beautiful half timber details right here. And just look at the quality of the texture up there. Pub sign, the font right there, you can see how the gold shines. Absolutely stunning building. And then this just continues with more pubs, and I think pubs are just really essential to British life overall, so I totally get why they did those. And yeah, they look lovely, and I will definitely use them in my German city. Period. I will definitely use them. They just look, they look way too good. And Brick 4000 and McFerren just did a perfect job. And then the last 3 assets of this pack, we have a small petrol station, a medium petrol station, and a large petrol station that just add some more variety in terms of the petrol stations we have. And maybe, I don't know if there's something special about UK petrol stations that are different from the vanilla petrol stations we have. But in either way, in either case, beautiful additions to the game. And then this video is really long now, and I'm sorry about that, but yes, there was just so much to show, I couldn't make a shorter video. I hope you liked that. If you'd just have 1 or 2 spare seconds left, just look at these before and after shots right here, where we just transformed a vanilla village that I made a while ago. Just changed the buildings, and it just transforms the whole village. It looks so much better, and just further proving my point, the UK pack is a great addition to the game. And I'm just very grateful that we have these buildings now, and this low density building finally in the game. Now that's it for this video, finally. Again, it's a huge video and I didn't plan to do that, but here we are now. Thanks for watching, and to all those who stuck right here to the end, thanks for joining me here. If you like what I'm doing, and if you want to see how I'm gonna incorporate these buildings in my German inspired city build, then definitely subscribe to the channel and click the tiny bell icon to get notified when I upload a new video. The next episode of Schwanach, my German inspired city build, should be up next Monday. At least the build is already done, and I just need to cut it into a proper video. So stay tuned for that, and you can join the Discord. The link's in the description if you want to get in touch with me or others that follow my work. And if you really want to support me, you can join my Patreon. The link is in the description as well, for some perks like early access to future assets and videos as well. And of course, the biggest thanks to all the people who always support me on Patreon. You are the best. Now that's it for today. Thanks for staying here, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay tuned, stay healthy, have a great time, and bye bye.